Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mark Strange to the Philippines. As requested, today's video we'll be doing a $1,000 budget here, and I'll go over how to do it. Alright, so I got my whiteboard here, and to get a $1,000 budget, first things first is your rent, and you're gonna want to keep that about $300 or less. You can find places for $50. You can find places for 100, 200, 300. Some places you can find 300. You can get a home. You can rent a house for that. So this is gonna depend on location, like location. You're not gonna do this in like a fancy part of like Metro Manila, but in the province or lots of the other cities, it is definitely more than possible and easy to do. So the next item on my list is the electric bill, and you're going to keep that about 100. You might be able to do less, like 50 to 75 if you're very frugal, turn everything off and stuff, or you might do more, like 150 or 200 if it's really hot and you're always running stuff and you got a lot of electricity stuff on, you got a big house or whatever. But you're going to want to shoot for about 100, and a large chunk of that is going to be your air conditioning. So, if you can live without air conditioning with the fans, or if you only run the air conditioning during the hot part of the days and you turn it off like at night or in the morning, or if you live in the mountains where it's cooler, that's going to save you a ton of money right there, and that will help a lot. All right, so next item on the list is food, and you're want to keep this between $200 to $300 on this $1,000 budget. And the reason is, that's gonna be like the next big thing after rent that you can really control. So like a Filipino, for example, is often gonna eat like $100 or less on like rice and fish and like local veggies and stuff. They're gonna eat real cheap, and you might not want to do that. It's definitely possible, but you probably don't want to do that. 300 is more than enough for yourself. You can do 200 if you can eat like a local, but then you can also still treat yourself to some Western food too. This is a lot easier to do for single guys, or if you're a woman is working and has her own job and her own family. She eats over there a lot. That can save you some money. If you have a girlfriend or if you have a wife and kids, this gets a lot harder to do. However, the good news is they're very good budgets, and they know how to feed a Filipino family for cheap, a large Filipino family for cheap. So they can help keep that cost down if you do run into that situation. I have a few miscellaneous things here. Your internet is going to be about $75 or so, depending on who's your carrier, your location, how fast it is, how much data you have, that sort of thing. Your water is not your drinking water, but like your shower water or what you wash with. Your phone is just some load. It's like 10, 20. So that's going to be about $100 miscellaneous items right there. And yeah. And you don't have to worry too much about your phone, because chances are you're going to be connected to Wi-Fi a lot, and that will help take care of that. All right, so we're going to do some quick math to prove a point and show how a $1,000 budget is easily possible. Even if I go with the more expensive items, like $300 for rent, which you can definitely get a lot cheaper than that, or like food for $300. Let's say I add this all up, right? So $300 for rent, 100 electric, 300 for food. That's 600 total right there. Then internet, water, phone, 85. That's like another 100. So that's $800 with $200 left over. So that could be your miscellaneous stuff, like your fun times, like if you want to go in town, eat out some, your gas, any sort of travel, anything extra, like you need to buy some clothes or whatever, um, that sort of thing. You got $200 extra to play around with. Not bad. All right, so I showed like the more expensive end on that. Now I'm going to show the cheaper end just to be fair and show you how much more you can save. So let's say you got like $100 rent or less, like you have a cheap 1 bedroom studio apartment and it's like outside of the city. Uh, that'll save you some money. So you can easily find like 50, 75, $100 apartments. Um, $100 electric. And then let's say you go down to $200 in food. Like you cook more yourself, you don't eat it out that much, and you do eat more like Filipino style food, like rice and fish and local veggies for the province. Um, let's add that up: 100, 200, 400, and then the miscellaneous 500. It's $500 plus that gives you $500 left over for fun, for travel, to eat out, to for gas, for miscellaneous stuff like clothes or repairs or anything, medical bills that may come up. So that's $500 left over for emergencies or for fun. That's a good bit of change. So even within the $1,000 budget, you definitely have some wiggle room there, some freedom to live a little bit more lavishly or to live a little bit more conservative and frugal. Now, all of this changes on your lifestyle, your age, and if you're single or not. So I want to make this clear. This is not for everybody. Like, I'm not recommending this for like everyone just come over to the Philippines for 1,000 or less. Like, if you're older, if you have health problems, if you want to get married or you date a single mom, if she's got 3 or 4 kids, this probably isn't going to work. I want to be upfront about that. I want to be honest. I don't want to be like selling the impossible dream, right? And then you get here and like your expectations don't match up to reality. You know, if you live on a cheaper budget, you're going to be traveling less, you're going to be doing less, you might get bored, just staying at the house all the time, and that's fine. Some people like that. They like to stay at home and relax, So it really depends on your age, your health, your lifestyle, and your relationship status. But just had to throw it out there. Okay, real quick at the end, I'm going to go over budget killers. And these things are going to be the things you absolutely have to avoid if you want to stay in the budget, or if you want to spend a little bit more if you like you have like some vice or pleasure or something. And this is what we call vices. It does have a negative connotation. No judgment here. Vice City or whatever. But let's get started. So vice one would be alcohol. Yeah. Vice two, smoking. Vice three, drugs. Vice four, gambling. A lot of people don't get. I don't really get the appeal to it. A lot of locals do, so don't be pulled into it. Like, don't be peer pressured into it. Then this one where a lot of guys are gonna fail. The final vice: women. So there's a huge difference between a good relationship and a good Filipina and a healthy relationship and chasing skirts. And, being that sugar daddy, the playboy, all that adds up. If you're looking to do a lot or any of these, even just alcohol, drinking a lot, going to the bar a lot, the $500 budget or the $1,000 budget becomes a lot harder, if not impossible. But if you're like me, you don't smoke, you don't drink, or you rarely drink, maybe like once a year socially or something, or that sort of thing. Don't do drugs, don't gamble, and either single or you have like a steady good girlfriend that has their own job and pays for herself, you'll be fine. I just wanted to mention that because it says the budget killers. And if you do all this, your chances of staying on budget are very low. And one more thing at the women, just be on the lookout for scams too. Unfortunately, it's just part of life, and that will destroy your budget and your finances as well.